Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Dear all participants, we are now on the 11th session of the KARCIEF Islamic Economics and Finance Conference, and we have, I think, three articles and presentations now. We have presentators from Malaysia, I think Siti Fatima, Mohd Qasim, and Hazira from University of Science Islam Malaysia. And we have another participant, Mahwadi. I'm just looking from IAUM. We have Maishra Mahwadi. You're all welcome. If you like, we can start from the beginning. And the second one, ensuring the sustainability of donations of crowdfunding platform, the role of gamification and the user experience. It's an interesting topic, I think, because in gamification and the crowdfunding funds and crowdfunding platforms were interesting. And after the conference, I think we will get lots of good news about what's going on all around the world. Is Akila Hazira here?
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Hussein. I'm here.
Oh, okay. How are you?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Thank you very much. Are you ready for presentation?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. If you don't mind, first of all, we want to know who Akila Hazira. Please tell about yourself a little, and then you have only 15 minutes, but I will add in maybe 2 or 3 minutes more for your presentation. Please, the floor is yours, Hazira.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hussein, and Assalamualaikum, everyone. I think good evening, everyone in Malaysia, and good afternoon, everyone in Turkey. So my name is Nur Akila Hazira Muhammad Anim, and people usually call me Akila. And I'm a senior lecturer in Faculty of Economics and Muamalat. I just started my journey as academician this January, and I just finished my PhD last year.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So I proceed with my presentation.
Okay. I think it's about crowdfunding.
Yes, crowdfunding is actually part of my PhD.
That's nice. I'm very excited and waiting for you. Okay, you can share your screen if you like, and then we can start.
All right. Okay. So today I will be sharing with you guys my research on donation crowdfunding platform and how gamification and user experience can influence the donor's intention to donate using crowdfunding platforms. Okay, we start. So in Islamic practice, there are 2 types of charity. The first one will be obligatory charity, which is, for example, Zakat. And the second one is voluntarily charity, for example, Sadaqah. So Sadaqah, the concept of Sadaqah is similar with donation crowdfunding. So before the emerging of technology, usually people doing donation, they give the money directly to the beneficiaries or using intermediaries such as the religious center. However, because of the internet and all the technology, the existence of crowdfunding platform somehow flourished the donation activities. So the mechanism of crowdfunding platform work as 2-sided market, okay? Which means that one-sided is comprised of project owner. So project owner is the people who ask for the fund. So this group of people will advertise their project on a crowdfunding platform, and then the other group of people, which is donor, will browse through the crowdfunding platform. Then they will choose which crowdfunding project they want to donate. So the crowdfunding platform technically is the intermediaries of this mechanism. So among the advantage of crowdfunding platform is the first one, it's fast and easy, and then it can cover various levels of fundraising activities and then it's promote transparency. And the most interesting part is it can create proactive contribution habits. So however, despite all the advantage and all that, there's problem because most of the crowdfunding project that attempted to raise funds through crowdfunding platform failed to get their funding targets. So you can see that researchers found that less than 50% the success rate of crowdfunding projects. So meaning that, for example, in a crowdfunding project, they have total 500 projects attempted to raise funds. However, less than 250 managed to get their funding target. And because of that, many numbers of researchers try to figure out the factors that can influence donors' intention. Okay, some of the researchers look into the crowdfunding project identities. For example, is the project about raising fund of refugee or raising fund to help students to collect their tuition fees. So another categories is where researchers look into the project owner credibilities. So let's research focus on the crowdfunding platform. So I took the opportunity to see how the crowdfunding platform as intermediaries can help donors' intention to donate using crowdfunding platform. Okay, so when it involves the platform, so it involves few features. So the first one is gamification. This is very interesting. So gamification is the incorporation of game elements such as progress bar, pages, and leaderboards to influence users to use crowdfunding platform. So for example, when we playing games, usually they have a ranking. So anyone who scores highest mark will be top at the rank. So this is the similar things we wanted to do in donation crowdfunding platform. So anyone who donate more, they will be at the top of the rank. So as we can see the image, this is the example of gamification features, and this is progress bar. So when people see that this crowdfunding project have raised their funds halfway, so they may want to help this to fulfill all the bar. And then another second factors will be user experience, the contributor's perception, feeling, and direct observation of the crowdfunding platform. And the last one is the intention, the probability and willingness that people would engage in using crowdfunding platform. Okay, and this is the theoretical framework. Okay. So based on stimulus organism response model by Mehrabian and Russell, 1974, usually SOR model will be used when explaining on online activities. So gamification will be the stimulus, meaning that gamification is the external environmental cues that influence the organism and respond. So user experience is the organism and intention is the response. And as we can see, this research involved 4 hypotheses, 3 direct hypotheses, and 1 mediating effects. On research methodology, the research scope is only restricted to Muslim because we focus this research on Sadaqah-based crowdfunding platform. And then the individual must aware of crowdfunding activities and the platforms. So the procedure, we use a virtual snowballing technique, and the respondent will approach via private message. In terms of measurement item, there are 7 items for gamification, 12 items for user experience, and 4 items on donation intention. After collected the data, we found that 84%, the response rate is 84%, equal to 148 valid respondents. So the majority of the respondents are female, their age are between 18 to 25 years. They earn less than 1,000 ringgit Malaysia, and 40% of them are graduated with bachelor degree. And I proceed with the data analysis. I use SPSS for descriptive analysis and Smart PLS for the hypothesis testing. And then this is the result I'm finding. So this is very interesting result. So as we can see, among the three direct relationship, the first hypothesis, gamification towards intention, is actually not supported. However, the other two hypotheses is supported, gamification towards user experience and then user experience towards intention. So in terms of indirect relationship, the mediating effects of user experience between gamification and intention, the decision is supported. So this is a very interesting finding because first, my research found that gamification has no direct impact on donor intention to donate using crowdfunding platform, and this is different from previous researchers. And few researchers suggested that if you want to implement gamification in a platform, in a website, we must use a full-fledged, full game-like platform, and a single element of gamification is not enough to directly influence the donor's intention. Okay, and then second, user experience is an important factor that bridging gamification to influence donor intention. So if you want to use gamification in crowdfunding platform, we must ensure that the donors experience a good experience so that it can influence their intention. Okay, so we know that the most of crowdfunding platform in the world mostly applied the first layer of gamification. So it's very simple and basic. Rarely we see that gamification features in crowdfunding platform apply the second layer of gamification features such as point rewarding and all that. So this study suggests that future studies to duplicate this research on other crowdfunding platforms that have advanced gamification features, such as Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And as we know, Kickstarter and Indiegogo is the prominent crowdfunding platforms. And then second, to test the framework in other types of crowdfunding. For example, equity and lending-based crowdfunding, because people who involve in equity and lending crowdfunding have different motivation from people who involve in donation crowdfunding. Because when in donation crowdfunding, we didn't get any return. However, in equity and lending, the investor get monetary return. So would be likely the framework will produce a different result. And then conclusion, this study suggests that donors are not in favor of gamification features as it will not directly influence their donation intention. However, gamification is a great tool to enhance user experience and thus influence their donation. Okay, and then user experience is an important variable that transmit gamification to donor intention. And we suggest that crowdfunding platform operator should pay more attention to develop great user experience. So some of the contribution, since the literature on crowdfunding, gamification in crowdfunding is still sparse, this study makes an important contribution to the literature. And based on SOR model, this study extends the literature by suggesting that user experience is an important mediator. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Akila, it was a great presentation. Thank you very much. You are on time. It's very good. It's an interesting issue because you told during your presentation success rate is very low, in 50%. And maybe gamification is a result, but after the results you take from the surveys, it's not the all result. And I would like to ask, how is the situation in Malaysia about the crowdfunding platforms? Is there any intent on the Muslim community that in the crowdfunding platforms?
In Malaysia,
Yes.
The crowdfunding industry is quite booming. However, from my observation, the crowdfunding activities are much more towards equity and lending activities, which means that this type of activities involve investment. Okay, so the law from these activities have governed by law. So compared to donation activities, the activities is considered okay. However, these things still happen. There are many unsuccessful crowdfunding projects, and I think from donation crowdfunding, the most important thing is to have social capital. So, for example, the project owner raise fund through crowdfunding platform. However, they still have to promote the project to their social capital to earn more donation.
Okay, it's very important to take an attention, but also I think increasing the donor's intention is very important, and another case study. That's why it's a good contribution to the literature. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you so much.
It's very nice to listen to your presentation. I think we have another crowdfunding article, Financial Resilience of Small Medium Enterprises, SMEs, amidst health pandemic crisis, an examination of equity crowdfunding adoption in small medium enterprises. I think Dr. Siti Mohammed and Professor Zurina will be here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
By the way, Professor Zurina, welcome. I think
should I share my slide?
Okay, Dr. Siti Fatima, please. First of all, if it's possible, can you briefly introduce yourself? After that, we can start the presentation. We have 15 minutes, but maybe we can add in 5 minutes more.
My name is Siti Fatima Muhammad Kasim from University Science Islam Malaysia. I have currently finished my PhD. I'm doing in crowdfunding. Now today also I am presenting equity crowdfunding in this conference.
Okay, it's very great. We want to waiting your presentation, please. Floor is yours.
It's all right. Because we have difficulty here because the internet is so slow. Yavash, you know? Internet okay. Yavash in the hotel.
Okay, if you like, you can close your camera. It will be more easy to broadcast.
Oh, that is much better. I will off my camera then.
Because now, while broadcasting the
okay.
screen, it will be more easy for you. Okay. I think, Doctor, we couldn't hear you clearly.
Resilience of SME and hello, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Financial resilience of SME amidst health pandemic crisis and examination of equity crowdfunding adoption in SME in Malaysia. Me, myself, Siti Fatima Muhammad Kasim, representative for all of my members here. So the introduction. SME is the driving force in promoting an economy and they contribute to economic development of any country. However, they are always associated with financial difficulty, lack of financial management practices, and uncertainty of the business environment. Basically, SME has a great potential to generate high profit, but at the same time, they reveal low survival rate. SME is a SME common funding tools, family and friends, from family and friends, saving, and from credit card, bootstrapping, grants, and that is why the equity crowdfunding is introduced in Malaysia in 2015 to accommodate the financial lack of financial difficulty, to answer the financial difficulty by SME in Malaysia. Equity crowdfunding in Malaysia is under the custody of Security Commission in Malaysia and is governed under Capital Market and Service Act 2017. These are the list of the registered market operator in Malaysia, as I show here. And this is the statistic that show the amount raised from 2020 to 2021 during the pandemic by the Security Commission of Malaysia. We can see that the amount raised from 199 million to 352 in 2021, which that helped 159 issuer or the entrepreneur in 2020 and 2022 issuer in 2021. And there is various types of investors that involved in the equity crowdfunding in Malaysia. Basically, these are the types of crowdfunding. The donation-based crowdfunding, as presented by Dr. Akila just now, purely philanthropic without any expected future return or compensation to the backers. The reward-based crowdfunding is an appreciation is given to the contributor or donor for supporting the product or service developed. The equity crowdfunding is the crowd investor are supporting startup or SME and will receive some portion of shares in the ventures. The last types of crowdfunding is the lending-based or P2P crowdfunding. It is an investment vehicle through which crowd investors provide loans to the startup or SME to support their ventures and will receive interest payment in exchange. The ontology of the equity crowdfunding, the COVID-19 is an uncommon phenomenon. It entails innovations, preference, and changes in the existing entrepreneurial landscape. In reality, as the crisis happened abruptly, it is critical to make speedy and thorough decision in a short period. The enterprises must quickly position themselves in the new normal as possible. As such, the pandemic impacts could be lessened and simultaneously recognize the emergence opportunity. These are the factors that help in campaign success. However, it depends on the crowdfunding types. There are human capital qualities, including their knowledge and experiences, the level of transparency from all crowdfunding actors, that signals to other parties, example, the strategy employed in that organization, the trust element. During crowdfunding, investors become more prudent. The issue updates on the social media also help the investor to influence the investor in making the investment decision. Online platform updates. The issue also have our online platform need to update their website accordingly to the issuers. The type of networks, who are the networks that that the issuer has, and also the platform. The campaign characteristic also help the campaign success. Product and service offered also will help the investors to understand about the whole picture of the campaign and the uniqueness of the pitching session. The research methodology. This paper aims to investigate the potential of equity crowdfunding as an alternative funding opportunity for the ventures, particularly during the COVID-19 crisis in Malaysia. This exploratory study uses a qualitative method of content analysis research based on the current journals and information related to COVID-19 and its impacts on the SMEs and businesses. The equity-based platform website in Malaysia, crowdfunding activities during the MCO from March 18, 2020 until April 5, 2021 are of focus. However, this study concentrates solely on the pitch platform Sendirian Berhad due to limited information available on each of the ECF platform websites. Pitching provides most of the required information on crowdfunding activities in Malaysia during COVID-19. The finding, this study is one of the few studies to explore the adoption of online funding through equity-based platform in Malaysia during the pandemic. The study finds that equity crowdfunding significantly affects entrepreneurial funding in Malaysia context. ECF encourages the emergence of business models resilient to the crisis and accelerates entrepreneurs developing knowledge of online funding and digitalization for future growth, especially ventures with bright future. The type of business model we can, as we can see here, there are two types of business model especially during the COVID-19, the resilient and the vulnerable. The resilient is including the anti-fragile, that business model that shows sound outcomes during a crisis. Robust is the business model that can sustain during the crisis. Adaptive business model that need alteration to suit the crisis. Suspended business model that need temporary closure to curb the rising problem due to the crisis. Aided business is the business model that needs external governmental support, for instance, that they are not capable to sustain themselves. Retired business model that withdraw from the market is the best solution during the crisis. The comparison before and during COVID-19. Okay, from 2017 to 2018, the total of success campaign are 40. The investors 2,268, and the total investment raised is more than 41 million. However, during the COVID time, 2020 to 2021, the success campaign was 48. The total investors is not many as before. There is 1,972. However, the total investment as you can see here is more than 75 million. Okay, so the conclusion is that we have to encourage more SME to be able to penetrate the equity crowdfunding market, especially in Malaysia. The SME need to rigorously use their human capital, financial capital, social capital for better performance, survival, growth, sustainability, and competitiveness, especially during the crisis. Creatively emerge from its subject norm. This creativity help the firm to overcome the crisis impact. A firm could take advantage of its social network if it can boost network trust. Technology advancement forces every firm to change, and this also provide this firm need to provide an excellent signal to the stakeholder so that they can help raise the investment. Last but not least, in Malaysia situation, less than 0.05 SME in equity that involved in equity crowdfunding in Malaysia. So we propose to educate, expose, encourage, enhance the existing and the new SME to come to join this the crowdfunding market. That's all for now. Thank you. Jazakumullah khairan kathira.
Thank you very much. It was very nice and very interesting because the last words are very important. Educate, expose, encourage, and enhance. That's all. Because from your start, and you told SMEs is very important. Really, SMEs is very important. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. SMEs are very important. Maybe chambers of commerce and other institutions may be a solution for this problem. And also, I know that angel investors in Malaysia is growing 21 to 23. It's great. Inshallah, we will increase these equity funding, crowdfunding, and the other issues. Maybe we can enhance with also in blockchain on other digitalization. And as Dr. Akila said, and they have measured gamification in the crowdfunding, and maybe next research maybe make on blockchain and other digital issues. Professor Zorina, would you like to add something? I think she. Oh.
Yeah. Dr. Hussein, on the crowdfunding. On the crowdfunding performance during COVID, of course, this is one of the empirical study that we have performed to look into how the performance are during the COVID, where we don't have access to normal financing. Then we could see that the capital raising during this period is very encouraging, as presented by Sister Dr. Fatimah just now. So, I mean, the results is kind of obvious, but we are glad that we have managed to examine this phenomenon where crowdfunding has become a significant tool for fundraising by the SMEs. And then, and it's a documented evidence that we managed to pull together to show that how crowdfunding is very accessible to the SMEs or small medium enterprises when it comes to raising the capital. Dr. Hussein.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. I think it will be a good paper and good presentation. Thank you very much, Dr. Fatima and Professor Zorina. I think we have the next issue, next presentation about Zakat institutions in Malaysia, social impact measurement. Dr. Maisar and Dr. Marwan, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Please first who we are talking with. After then you can take in your presentation. The floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Maisara Mahwadi. You can call me Maisara. I am a master student in IIUM Institute of Islamic Banking and Finance in IIUM, of course, and I specialized in Islamic social finance. And this is going to be my final semester, inshallah. I'll be graduating. I'll try to graduate by this semester, inshallah. So I'm very new.
Inshallah, congratulations, inshallah.
Okay. So without further ado, let's start with my presentation. Let me share my screen.
On the other hand, I want to remind that on our YouTube channel, it will be live broadcasting now. After then, you will see the records on the YouTube channels, I think.
I cannot share the screen because the host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, I'm just checking this.
Okay.
I think you can share now.
Okay.
Okay, Maysara.
All right. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum, everyone. My name is Maysara, and I'm sorry if I cannot open my camera because I think if I on my camera, my voice will be not very clear for everyone to hear.
Okay,
so,
after the presentation, we can say see you and say hello. Okay.
Okay, sure. Okay, so Assalamualaikum, everyone. My name is Maysara, and together with Dr. Said Marwan, this is a presentation of our paper regarding social impact measurement to realize full potential of Zakat institutions in Malaysia. Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So for the presentation highlights, there are 4 main areas that I will be discussing. First is Zakat in Islamic social finance. Second is Zakat on poverty reduction and socio-economic development. Third one, issues on Zakat institution, and 4, social impact measurement in Zakat. This is where we will try to justify introduce the social impact measurement to be adopted and introduced in Zakat institutions. So first, let's start with the first discussion, Zakat in Islamic social finance. So Islamic social finance is basically defined as financing modes and instruments that are based on Islamic ethics and for the purpose of social causes and elements of Zakat, Wakaf, Qard Hasan, and Sadaqah. So basically, Zakat is part of Islamic social finance. And we can see that based on our readings and literature papers that we have explored, it is found that main objective of Islamic social finance is to alleviate poverty and contributing to its social impact. And then tons of people are actually highlighting the Zakat to be an effective tool towards poverty alleviation and also socio-economic development in a particular country. Okay, this is just a basic one. So basically, we know now what is the objective of Islamic social finance and Zakat in general. Okay, now basically now in this has come to the second area, which is the Zakat on poverty reduction and socio-economic development. So based on our readings, we found that there is a lot of Zakat potentials. Now, what it can do towards poverty reduction and also to develop the economics of the society. And some of the studies I have mentioned in the slide, you can see. So basically, Zakat have found to be an effective mechanism to achieve SDG, and we all know what SDG is. It is a global commitment in ending poverty, protecting the earth, and ensuring peace and prosperity for humankind. So we can see that this actually relates with poverty and socio-economic development of the people. And Zakat also found to able to help the needy through microfinance. And there's also some studies, real life studies that made by previous researchers in terms of what Zakat can potentially, or not what Zakat has done to societal economic welfare of the people. So in this case, we have Indonesia and Bangladesh. So it resulted, the studies resulted in a very positive result. So Zakat able to reduce Indonesia's level of poverty, and also in terms of Bangladesh, the Zakat-based program have been effectively helping in fulfilling basic needs of the ultra poor households. And yeah, there's a lot of potentials. And also just a common disclaimer that in terms of discussion of Zakat as essential tools of poverty alleviation, there are two main considerations that we need to look towards too. So first is role of Muslim economists and thinkers in finding balance between conceptual and empirical based literature regarding Zakat, and also a role of policymakers. So policymakers is really important because they're the one who will support the measures in adopting specific approach or programs, initiatives in eradicating poverty through Zakat. So this is a discussion. So basically, we can see a lot of potentials, a lot of case studies are very positive ones. And then, but however, I think all of us might know that despite of all the potentials, all of the good things, objectives of Zakat, half global poverty actually still resides in Muslim countries. And as you can see in the slide, the slide actually focuses more on the COVID-19 situation. So we can see that not even Muslim-dominated countries, but all over the world, the issue of poverty is increasing. And as we all know that when we're talking about the poverty and when it increases, it will affect the development of the society in a particular country. So, and then we're talking about Zakat. So of course, as you can see from the third point, in terms of Muslim-dominated countries during COVID-19, it have shown, like in terms of MENA region, have shown double rise in extreme poverty during the pandemic, and also countries with high population of Muslims such as India, Indonesia are also facing similar effects. So based on the potentials, what it can be done, what Zakat can literally do in helping to address the issue of poverty and to develop the economic society. Regardless of that, the current situation is quite different, where we can say that Islamic social finance objectives and potentials are not really fully realized, and poverty is not being effectively addressed in Muslim countries, especially because until now, half of the global poverty again resides in Muslim countries. So this is very worrying, because we have Zakat, but we still lack in terms of, we still behind in terms of addressing these issues. So that is the first discussion. The second discussion, why we want to introduce social impact measurement to be adopted and in Zakat institutions in Malaysia, is because the issues that are facing by the Zakat institutions. So basically, Zakat institutions are Islamic institutions with the main objective to reduce poverty and also ensuring social justice. However, it has been found through our readings that a lot of issues actually are happening in Zakat institutions in the context of Malaysia. So some of the very, very known ones are inconsistencies, mismanagement, transparency, and issue of trust. In terms of inconsistencies, this will affect actually, this will make it difficult to compare performance in Zakat institutions. So this is why it has been one of the issues in Zakat institutions in Malaysia. And then the second one is mismanagement. So what mismanagement can do, actually, it kind of create doubts among stakeholders. This is and it also reflects a weak internal control. So therefore resulted in loss of faith and support by the stakeholders. And Zakat payers are one of the stakeholders in Zakat institution, as you all know. And then of course, issue of transparency and trust issues are found to be mainly derived from lack of reporting practice. Okay, so we have two situations. One is objectives and potentials of Zakat are not really being fully realized. Second is issues that are happening in the Zakat institutions in Malaysia. So that's why this paper are actually trying to introduce social impact measurement to be adopted in Zakat institution in Malaysia. So basically, SIM from Islamic perspective is a positive impact generated by an individual or organization's activities that strive to safeguard and preserve Islam's 5 core interests: faith, life, intellect, posterity, and wealth. And then the purpose of SIM is actually to determine any changes in social impact as a result of organizations or stakeholders' activities and benefits of SIM. This is very, very important. This is why we are trying to introduce an SIM to the area of Zakat, because through the social impact measurement, we get to know that institutions are really making a difference or not, and institutions can improve social purpose organizations, and this relate with the goal alignment, and it is also the benefit of SIM also relates with the accountability and enhanced efficiency in Zakat institution itself. So why do you need social impact measurement in Zakat? So there are three main reasons for this, three points for this. So first is underlying reason for existence. What does it mean by that is actually the need for measuring social impact for Zakat institution dates back to the underlying reason for existence. So we all know that Islamic social finance built to promote social equity, inclusive participation, economic justice, and shared prosperity. So this is why we need, Zakat institution need social impact measurement, because it traces back to the root of purpose of ISF itself. Okay, and then the second one is to compels to express Zakat institution values and beliefs, and this is more towards the objectives and goals of a particular Zakat institution. And then the third one is significant measure of accountability. So basically, in terms of Zakat institution, they are accountable to two perspectives, two responsibility, like two parties. First, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a what do you say, as a redistribution wealth mechanism in helping the Zakat beneficiaries, and second one to the Zakat institution stakeholders. Okay, that is why Zakat institution needs social impact measurement. Okay, now function of social impact measurement in Zakat. I think like this can be also considered as some kind of benefits through adoption of by adopting social impact measurement in Zakat institution. What can Zakat institutions get? So first, more effective reporting in terms of disclosing necessary information, and then it also demonstrates the efficiency and effectiveness of Zakat institution in delivering social programs. Third one is it is very useful for tracking the performance of Zakat institution for objective alignment and reporting purposes, and it also increase reputation and enhance trust among stakeholders. So this is what will make stakeholders to constantly support Zakat institutions, and also to keep track of how the Zakat fund is being used for the Zakat distribution program. So this actually, by social impact measurement, we can basically know whether the Zakat institution is achieving their goals or not, and if not, what should they do? What should be considered? What initiatives should they do, and things like that. So yeah, this is why we believe that social impact measurement is very beneficial to be introduced and adopted in Zakat institution, so that it can realize the full potential and reaching the objectives of Zakat institution itself. Okay, so this is basically just a conclusion based on what I have been discussed just now. So as you can see, the three things that we have discussed before, and I introduced social impact measurement, and then I highlight why Zakat institution needs social impact measurement, and the function or the benefit, what it can do to the Zakat institution in a long time. Okay, so I think I have finished my presentation, but just for an acknowledgement, the research for this paper was financially supported by the Fundamental Research Grant Scheme for Research Acculturation of Early Career Researchers, Ministry of Education Malaysia. So we would like to thank the Government of Malaysia, particularly Ministry of Education and IIUM, in accomplishing this research. So basically the team members for this grant consists of Dr. Said Marwan, Dr. Said Musa, Dr. Nur Harina, Brother Miran, and also me, Maisarah. So I think that's it for my presentation. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Sister Maisarah. It was very nice and very good presentation. I will take some notes, and I want to highlight some places. But first, Dr. Marwan, would you like to say something, or would you like to add something? If he can hear us, I'm not sure. Okay.
It's okay. I think it was a very good presentation already. Covered all of it already.
Thank you very much. Sister Maisarah talked about inconsistencies, mismanagement, transparency, and issue of trust. I will take an citation from Dr. Fatima, because educate, expose, encourage, and enhance. I like these words. For institutionalism, Zakat, I think we need these 4 pillars also. Thank you very much for your presentation. I think oh, I'm sorry.
I heard that you saying about the enhance all the SME. So I said thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fatima. And I think, Professor Zurina, I can see another project from your development of financial education content development into mobile apps. I think it's also your presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Hoja.
If you like, the floor is yours, Professor Zurina.
Thank you very much, Brother Hussein, Brother Dr. Hussein. Okay, my paper is about the development of financial education content, the development of that into the mobile apps, which we take the case study on product development processes of Muamalah interactive game mobile apps. This is, I think Dr. Kamola has presented about, the process of product development in the previous presentation. And because what we have in the development of board game in KTO also, stem from the first development of Muamalah interactive game. But in Malaysia also we have further development of the game that we designed, which was the industry version, community version, and the latest one is the mobile apps version. So Dr. Hussein, what I'll be sharing is on the third version, which we developed and pilot tested, that is the mobile app. So that is the focus for my presentation today. Okay, what I have in the introduction is the importance of financial education knowledge. And I think this is something that is, that is agreed by all of us, that financial education will improve the financial, the financial decision-making among individuals. And because what we would like to do with the mobile apps is that the focus will be on the generation Z, which rely quite a lot on mobile application, and what they do is centered around the handphone use, as we know. So I think there is motivation for us to include or to design something that that they could use, and something that is very dear to their heart, that is the use of mobile. So we would like to empower them by providing them with the application or with the knowledge of the financial education through mobile. Okay, if we look into the next slides, we provided also the literature review on the adoption of serious game in learning, which is something that is agreed to, that the Y generation, the Z generation, prefers something that is interactive, something that is easily could be used and that they could engage. And mobile apps is something that is a tool that could be used in order to achieve that objective. And that's why we have prevalence of literature review that say that the adoption of serious game in learning is something that is growing, and the interest is growing in the learning using immersive tools in education. Okay, and another segment of literature review is on the learning domains. As lecturers and students here, we know that when the content of something and the delivery of it, the objective is to achieve all the learning domains that are cognitive knowledge, technical knowledge, and affective behavior. I mean, if the delivery and the content only focuses on cognitive knowledge, then we're going to have issue with the technical knowledge and affective behavior. So what we try to do in the Muamalah interactive game, and especially with the mobile application, is that we try to score all. Means that we would like to impart the cognitive knowledge of financial planning, and we also would like to give them the technical skill in terms of their ability to calculate the cash flows as well as the asset management. And we will try also to engage with them on the importance of giving sadaqah, giving zakat, which is compulsory, and we would like to make them to experience the need to pay zakat as well as to contribute in wakaf and other type of sadaqah. Okay, I move to the methodology in the next slides. This is a case study because this is our experience in developing the mobile apps, and how we deliver the case study is via the pilot testing, engage with students to learn on financial management concept and related financial management vehicle, and apply the knowledge to transactions simulated through the game. So basically, we engage the student to pilot, to experience the features in Muamalah interactive game mobile apps. Okay, the highlight on the processes involved during the product development of Muamalah interactive game apps was conducted, which spans, from development until testing and piloting in the spans of 6 months. And these are the processes prior to pilot testing. We had to do the product validation as well as product development. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, there are 3 aspects of the findings in the paper. First is on the product development, and secondly is on the product validation and pilot testing. As I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, that the mobile apps is the extension of the product of the industry and community version. So basically, we have developed in 4.1, in slide 7, we have ideate and developed the product, and for this we have engaged with the via expert discussion and on the concept, and we transform into the board game that instill Muamalat awareness, educational process, fun and interactive process of learning. And the assignment and game-based element were also added to retain the players playing the game to the end, and to ensure the repeat means that they will be able to actualize what they experience. So that is product development, which is the same for all the 3 ranges of products that we have. That is industry, community, and mobile apps. In slide 8, this is just to show the types of contracts that we cater in the game. So this number 1 until number 14, which, if we would like to replicate this in other market as the one that, the project that Dr. Shahida and Dr. Kamola is leading in KTO, is that, we could engage with the user to include any other products that is relevant to the market. So this is just to show what's included in the mobile apps as well as other games, the games that we have in Malaysia. Okay, in terms of, in slide 9, in terms of the mobile apps application, this is the interface that we have developed, where the board game, the physical board game now is being transformed into mobile apps, and that's how the interface look like. And then, the participant, each of the participant who would like to play the game, have to log in, and then we have the procedure which we will explain to the participant on how to log in and how to set up their accounts before they are able to play. Okay, and the next process is the product validation. And again, as this product is a spin-off from the physical board game, we relied on the product validation that has been conducted on the physical board game MIG on this area. That is validation by the subject matter expert on the fiqh mu'amalat expert on the fiqh mu'amalat areas. And then secondly is the playability validation with the practitioners, means that you know, the Islamic bankers, as well as the also we had the help from the Yayasan Inovasi Malaysia, where the staff from Yayasan Inovasi Malaysia has helped us have helped us to validate the process as well. I mean the product as well. And pedagogy validation, since you know this is educational tool and we have to do the pedagogy validation, and this was done professionally by the pedagogy lab in University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, who has the service to provide the lab. So you know, I think what we would like to highlight here is that, you know, after the process of product development, there are other processes that has to be conducted, that is validation of the product that has been designed. And finally, what we have to do is to perform the pilot testing, which I will explain in the content of slide 12. But in slide 11, just to give you some pictures of the product validation that we have done, that is the Sharia expert, the industry, and from the Innovation Foundation of Malaysia, as well as with the users themselves. Okay, now I would like to highlight on the pilot testing specifically for the mobile app product. Okay, what we did was we conducted the session with the Generation Z individuals who are generally the participant for this pilot from 19 to 22, because they are undergraduate students in USIM. And the players were divided into 4 groups of 5 players, that are 4 players and 1 financial manager in 1 group. And the game playing session lasted for 2 hours as recommended for effective game session. Prior to playing the game, a member of the innovation team, myself, has briefed the participant in the pilot session on how to play the game and the fundamental information on the financial management concept. I mean, we did a little bit of briefing before we let them to, you know, get hands-on with the mobile application. And from the pilot session, participant agreed that the content validation by expert, this is the findings, yeah. They agreed that the content validation by the expert, by saying that the game has high playability quality and it is easy to follow as the explanation are straightforward, and the explanation are expressed in an easy to understand graphical manual. So, you know, when we like to do something that is mobile in nature, then we have to come up with, you know, graphical manual rather than manual that are written in long words. Okay, the students too able to appreciate the fun element of the game, and they compete with each other to invest during the investment using the investment vehicle featured in the game. They too could apply the relatively new concept introduced to them on cash flow management and recording of financial management by writing their cash and assets figure on the mobile apps. Okay, as also as in the physical cash flow management card and asset management card, now they will be putting their figure in the apps itself. Okay, okay, what I would like to highlight here is that the use of the mobile apps here has scored the all the learning domain as we would like to have the knowledge to be imparted to the student. That is, you know, in terms of cognitive knowledge, we are able to let the student retain the information about the knowledge about the financial management, especially on the cash flow and asset management, and also on the muamalat concepts that are featured in the game. So that is the cognitive knowledge. And secondly, they are able to also engage in the psychomotor domain, because they will have to put in figure, they will have to, they able to calculate in terms of percentage of their savings to their income and so on, so that that amount to psychomotor actions that also achieve by through the playing of the Muamalah Interactive Game Mobile Apps version. And at the third aspect, which is on the affective behavior, because to those who know Muamalah Interactive Game, that the calculation of the winner is 60% based on the ukhrawi figure, and 40% is on the dunyawi figure. So that would change how they decide on what they will do, the financial decision that they will take during the playing of the game. So it will affect the effective action of the player. So as I mentioned, the game to them has managed to touch them, that increase their financial knowledge, as well as they are able to engage in technical skills, as well as it affect their decision, their effective decision. Okay, and these are in the slides 14. I highlighted some of the features in the game of the MIG apps features that the participant in the pilot session has highlighted that need improvement. So those are the issues, the main issues from number 1 and number 5, basically is on the easiness to play, and then in terms of the look of the game and so on. So these are the issue, and so the identified issues are also highlighted by the pilot session. So I think this is why we need to do pilot session, because we will need to engage with the prospective users for them to be able to provide input to us as the product developer, because it's not the developer who will play the game, basically, because it is intended for the target market to play. So we need honest input from the target users. Okay, and in slide 16, just some pictures on the interface of the game, as well as the session, the Zoom session which we had briefing before the pilot session were connected at this round for MIGX. Okay, and finally, the conclusion from this exercise is that the pilot session is useful to improve the game. That is one. And another findings is that the conclusion wise is that when we do this, and it will give the inspiration, as well as it could benefit the future innovators who would like to learn product development of serious game. And I think that is the contribution of the paper and also presentation into this session. Dr. Hussein and all.
Thank you very much.
That's all from me.
Thank you very much, Professor Zrina. You have exceeded 6 or 7 minutes, but the topic is very interesting because we are still trying to develop like in a game. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Shahid and Dr. Kamalo, by the way, and also for your team. It's very important. Students or children are involved in playing a board game will enhance their financial capabilities. I will test this, because
Yeah.
the asset management, the cash flow is very important, and also you will make a zakat and the other muamalat things is very better. And I am volunteer to have a test.
Yeah. Because you know, with the because now we are doing the X version, and now, as you know, not only Generation Z are using mobile applications, you know, in their life. So probably the next step, as you mentioned, is that to pilot the mobile apps for the late 30s and, you know, early 40s until 50s, for instance. Or even, you know, maybe you realize this as well. Like, I don't know how the situation in Turkey, but then in Malaysia, even, you know, the retirees are actively using mobile phone. I mean, mobile phone is something that you hold dearly, you know, for probably 7 hours, 8 hours a day. So maybe there is a need to look for the need to develop or to tweak what we have in mobile apps for this generation as well. So in which cohort you belong, Hussein?
Okay. I am volunteer. But situation in Turkey is the same. Don't worry, because our older national is using mobile phones and mobile applications very much. And also, I have to highlight 3 things from your presentation. You have the validations from the fiqh and muamalat side, and the practitioners and the pedagogic side. That's very great. I think this program and this application will be increased as soon as possible. Thank you very much for this presentation.
Okay, welcome, Dr. Hussein.
I think we have one more presentation, but I didn't see anybody from that NCF microfinance specialties. Is there any participants? I think that's all. Let me check the time. We have 10 minutes and we use our time very perfectly. Thank you very much, Professor Zorina. Thank you very much, Dr. Fatima. Thank you very much, Dr. Akila. Thank you very much, Maysara and Dr. Said. Tuana, would you like to ask something, or another participant want something?
Okay, another participant wants to ask something. Ken, Prof?
Yeah, of course, Dr. Kamala.
Okay, Dr. Zorina, when it comes to your question that even retired people are using smartphones in Malaysia, we conducted one research actually on the e-commerce and like COVID-19 and how it affected e-commerce. And due to COVID-19, actually, after COVID-19, even the generation which wasn't much native or familiar with technology, they become technology native. So it's another thing. And when it comes to the online version, app version of MIG, and inshallah soon KARCIEF, currently I am conducting training for the presidency office. You know, our presidency office, the Department of Islamic Finance, they are targeting to educate 2,000 students below 30 years old every year. And this plan is for 5 years. So in total, it will make 10,000 students in 5 years. This is from the strategic document where one of the main problems of Islamic finance, not competitive share in Turkey due to the knowledge, awareness, lack of awareness. So what I'm thinking now because like this, tomorrow I will give training on the supporting contracts in Islamic finance. Last week I gave training in general, introduction to Islamic finance and the main terminology which we are using in Islamic finance. They allocated for me like 2 hours, 1 hour just for the terminology mostly used in Islamic finance. Actually in the game, Tawakkal cards, they serve the same purpose, right? And we need this app soon, very soon. So, Dr. Hussein,
Okay.
Since we already developed game, actually, it's already there. Just we need some final touch to get printed. Maybe we don't stop. We invite Dr. Zurina to continue with the app. What do you think? So
Yes,
until
of course.
the next,
Why not? Why not? It will be a great thing.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think Dr. Kamala, you are right. I mean, when we need to deliver the trainings, like in a mass number, like you have here 10,000 students to be
In 5
trained.
years.
Sometimes, in 5 years, sorry, that, online training is the effective solution to all, because we don't have to travel and so on. So yeah, I think it's really something that we need to deliver in terms of online training as well as mobile apps.
Yes,
so that's why, like in our side, Dr. Kamola, because we have some foundation who give CSR that who like to train like 500 students, and they also agreed that physical training is not feasible. I mean, in some situation we could do physical training, depends on situation, but then to deliver to many more than mobile apps is I think the only way to go. So there's the need to like pilot what we have, but the KTO version, I think it's we have like differences in the content. So of course the pilot testing, validation and pilot testing has to be redo, and of course we are in Turkish market is going to be probably a little bit different. So yeah, I mean the whole due process has to be initiated lah, Dr. Kamola, inshallah.
Okay, Prof. Before that, I want to mention like just one thing. What with my students when we play MIG, because KARCIEF is not ready yet. When it comes to the Hamish Jiddiya in istisna contract, istisna home financing, now they get used to the concept and they said, now I understood how Hamish Jiddiya is working. Even so, all of the lecturers, we already teach them how many times. See how it is important when you have simulation.
Yeah.
That's why when it comes to this training, especially, yes, Hojam.
Also, Dr. Kamal, I have to add something. I must confess, I just see some contrast really in the MIG game. Because in real life, you are not using every time the contracts and the other things. When you are playing something and you will learn and you will see what's going on. And this is very important. I think the mobile app is very important for that, because we can take lots of people inside the game. And after that, financial inclusion and financial literacy will be increased. Because in Islamic financial manner, we need a situation like this. That's why it's very important, Dr. Kamal. If you want to add something, we have 5 more minutes.
Okay, let us utilize our 5 minutes. Okay, Prof. Now another question, because MIG was already ready. How long in total, in cumulatively, it takes to develop the app from the beginning until the end product?
Yeah, how we did it in Malaysia, like I mentioned in the paper, it's 6 months until the piloting session that we had just recently.
Okay, 6 months.
Yeah.
So we invite you for 6 months then, Prof.
No, I
Another 6
I
months.
I don't know about that, because with the IT, the mobile apps, of course we need to have somebody who are very well versed in IT. Maybe that could be played. The role could be played by Dr. Hussein. But in terms of the supervision of the processes and suggestion for improvement, ideation, and further, because after the pilot session, of course there will be input, right, Dr. Kamola and Dr. Hussein? So the tweaking to the mobile apps has to be done. So of course the revalidation has to be done, and SME, we as the SME here could play the role lah, inshallah.
Inshallah. And my dream to have these Olympiads, inshallah, once we have app hopefully. Prof.
Yes,
Yeah.
easy.
Using
Yeah.
students.
And Dr. Kamola, may I add, like, you know, when
Yes.
we have the mobile app, I think another important aspect to the training, if you would like to deliver this, the program via online, mobile app is one, but it has to be the development. The other side of the development is the module, the training module itself. Means that, you know, mobile app is what they play, but to prep the participant in terms of, like you say, you know, you're going to take half an hour to brief about the contract. So that should be designed in a way that it is suitable for online. I mean, it shouldn't be
Prof,
lecture
one thing,
based.
I will add one thing, because you didn't see our game, right? You didn't see KAF.
Okay.
In KAF, instead of Muhasaba Hotel, we have Madrasa, Karatai Madrasa. You are going there. For now, you are taking education, like you are taking education, and then there is increase in your salary. But once we have mobile app, it will be like this. You will really take education, you will take module, you will give exam, then your salary will be increased. See, we already have that, Prof. We have many things. You didn't see.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Then really that one, that module as well as mobile app piloted together, and then it is ready to go.
Okay, Dr. Kamala and Professor Zina, thank you very much for your contribution. Because this Mohammed interactive game and also the new version Karate interactive finance game is very important for Islamic financial inclusion and Islamic financial education.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your contributions to our conference also. If it's possible, I want all participants to open the camera, and we will take in a reminder at the last, after then we'll finish.
Okay. For me, impossible.
Okay.
for those who possible.
Okay, my Sarah, Zorina, Fatima, Dr. Fatima, okay. Akila, okay. And I'm taking a last picture. After then, we will stop this session. Thank you very much for the participants and for all listeners. Inshallah, hopefully next year or the coming year, we will make the KARCIEF 3. We'll invite you from that time. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice
Really enjoyed the presentation for all the papers here, Hussein.
Yeah, very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Interesting presentations.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum, everyone.